Hi guys, today it's an opening video, and this video will cover the damiano defense. The damiano defense was used first time by no-name opponent, and white was the famous Greco. And let's see the game. E1, E4, E5, knight F3, F6. And here my recommendation, and most of the computer's recommendation, knight takes C. I should point out that here Ribka4 recommends D4, because after knight takes C, queen E7 is quite a bit better for white. But let's take a look to F takes C. Queen H5 check. If G6. This is the forced line. And here you have to give up your queen to win big material. And here you have a lot of pawns, maybe three, yeah, you have 4 pawns and a rook against a knight and a bishop, so it's obviously lots of material. So here, if you place king E7, you take, check, king F7 is forced, bishop C7 check. Here there's 2 lines. If D5, take with the bishop check, and this wins as well. But with H4, and if you place H6, bishop takes B7, because now if he takes with the bishop, you have queen F5 checkmate. So yeah, and if here he plays H5, if bishop takes B7, and then after bishop D6, queen H5, and it's the same thing. If he takes the bishop, if he takes with the bishop, then you simply have queen F5 checkmate. Not checkmate, but you know, after king H6, it is pretty easy to see that you have D4 as a pretty good move. Yeah. So let's go back. If here he does not play D6, as in Greco against no names Europe, played in Europe 6E20, and he plays king G6, then you have a forced line which wins. Check, G5 is forced, then H4, king G7, then checkmate is coming. This is checkmate. So that is it from F takes E. Let's see the other move, which is a sort of Scandinavian move, but of course the Scandinavian variation is better than this one. Is to play queen E7, then after knight F3, queen takes E4, bishop E2, and you have a big advantage because of your lead in development. I should point it out, queen E2 fails. Queen E2 fails. Queen takes queen, bishop takes queen, and this is a a draw because the queens have been exchanged, and well, you cannot have sufficient gain from it. I mean, yeah, you have to take to let the queen, because the queen here is a tempo winner. Because you will castle on the king side and play rook e1, and the queen had to move, and you have d4, and it's simply big advantage. An advantage, I will say. After queen f7, knight f3, and this is the line, d5. Now d3, d takes e, d takes e, queen takes e. Because of that the center is open, now it is justified for black to play this variation. But here there's two main variations, knight c6 or bishop f5, just to attack the pawn. Let's look at knight f6 first. You should castle, bishop d7, knight c3. Here there's two lines, if queen g6 or queen e6. Let's look at queen g6 first. You should play knight e5. And let's say he takes the knight, you have bishop h5, and this would be a false variation. Which leads to a big advantage. Yeah, after knight e5, it is somehow difficult to see, but I can tell you that this is good analysis. Here you have a big advantage, but yeah, you have a simple and big advantage. So let's go back to this position. If he plays instead queen e6, bishop f4, castle queenside, knight b5, bishop who was in d7 retreats on e8 to attack the queen. So bishop d3, bishop d6, come back, rook e1, attacking the queen. Then here there's three variations: queen f7, bishop b5, queen g4. Against queen g4, the queen g4 will be the last one to see. If queen f7, you play bishop takes d6, c takes d6, bishop f5 check, king g8, knight takes d, attacking the queen, and you have an advantage. If bishop e5, then bishop takes bishop, f takes c, and he has a bad pawn, so you should take it. Then play bishop f5, strong tactic. This is a tactical variation which leads to black with two pieces for the rook, but instead he has some problems because of his back row, and his pieces are not developed. So yeah, this was a strong variation. And if queen g4, which is the last variation, you should take the bishop, then sacrifice the rook, because you're gaining the queen. Wow, this is beautiful. So let's say here d5, plays knight c6, plays, whoops, sorry, not knight c6, which we covered, bishop f5 instead, knight c3. If queen takes c2, queen d5, and you have a strong edge because of bishop f4, queen b5, knight c6, castle, castle queenside, knight e1, knight d4. This is the fourth variation. And white is simply better. If knight c6, then castle, knight e7, queen c4, castle queenside, knight e1 again, knight d5 counterattacking, queen h4, g5, queen g3, and the queen is trapped. So after, whoops, we switch lines, sorry again. After queen takes c2, queen d5, the last but not least move, c6, queen c4, b5, queen d4, bishop e7, queen e3, and the queen is somehow trapped a bit on c2, and I believe that a move a la you should simply castle and play knight knight d5 as soon as possible to win at least the bishop or the queen. So yeah, or knight d5 straight away. So let's go back to this position after bishop f5, knight takes c2, which is not good, but bishop b4, castle. Now here this two line, after queen takes c2 again, queen e1 is good. If king d8, knight d4, take, queen here, queen d1, and there's a vital pin. King d8 does not work. So if knight e7, knight d4, bishop takes again, and this is the same thing, but now b7 falls. So this cannot work. Queen c2 is not good. If bishop takes c3, b takes c3, knight c6, bishop b5. If king f7 here, rook e1, rook d8, knight d4, queen d5, queen e2, knight takes, c takes, queen takes, bishop e1 check, and this is a better for white variation. You see, we're attacking everything, and it's simply better for white. We have the bishop there too. So let's say we play knight g e7 straight away. This is somehow the main variation, and here you can play bishop a3 is really strong. So this was my coverage of the Damiano, and this if you see the whole analysis that I made, you could simply win all your games with the Damiano. So thank you for watching. Leave any comments below. Bye bye.